Why did you break the CNN news?
You were shot at the toll gate?
I told you, this is the blood wound, and the blood came out from the back. In the back here, the blood came out from the back. And as we went to Lekkitollgate, I'm a comedian, and they still attack my YouTube channel.
So this video is basically to check up on everyone, especially for those of you, my FSWG family that is based here in Nigeria. I hope everybody is doing great. I hope everybody is doing absolutely well. I don't know. I woke up this morning, I just wasn't in the mood to talk about any other thing because guys, the things my eyes saw yesterday on the news, I don't want to even talk about people who were at the Lekkitollgate physically. I don't even want to talk about what they must have experienced. But for me, that saw things on the news, following up on the news and all that, guys, I was just, my mind had gone to different areas of this life and I'd come back to my body. I literally had an out-of-body experience because I kept on thinking that which way Nigeria, which way are we going in this country? Guys, I was so scared yesterday that the only thing in my head was, so if I start driving or I start walking on the streets of Nigeria in any state at all, a policeman can simply just harass me or batter me and do whatever he wants to do simply because he works with the government or he works with the law. Like guys, there was nothing I did not think about yesterday. I mean, yesterday was 20th of October, which stood for the memorial of the victims of the EndSARS protest that happened last year at the Lekkitollgate, especially because the protest was all around different parts of Nigeria. But the event that happened, the massacre that happened at the toll gate last year, guys, it shook the whole world because the world witnessed what happened via an Instagram live. I was on that Instagram live, guys. I mean, I even did a video last year. For those of you who were still on my channel as at last year, you remember I did a video. In fact, that same period last year was the time I had moved into my previous apartment. I had moved into my previous apartment like, I think 4 days earlier. And I was, I think 4 days or 2 days earlier. So that event happened. And what followed was a serious hunger strike in Lagos State because of a so-called curfew. In fact, the curfew is still holding till now. So guys, with all of these events, Nigerian youths have been really upset because the government have refused to take responsibility for their actions. The government have blatantly refused to acknowledge that the military and the police actually got people killed. Yes, actually got people killed at the toll gate. So Nigerian youths have been really upset because the toll gate has recently been repaired. Remember, the toll gate had been on a shutdown for for close to 1 year since that event. And so recently, the toll gate has recently been fixed, meaning that the toll gate will soon be back in business. Yes, soon be back in business, collecting money from motorists and all whatnot. Now, aside that, a panel of inquiry was also set up. What do they call them? Is it a judiciary panel or whatever? So they are supposed to investigate all the events that happened on that particular night and come up with results. But guys, you know how this country works. For those of you who are Nigerians, the inquiry has been dragging for for the past 1 year. I don't know why I keep saying for over 1 year, but the inquiry, the panel has been dragging for the past 1 year. Today they will come up with some findings, tomorrow they will refute those findings, next tomorrow they will come up with some new discoveries, next tomorrow. I mean guys, to the point that even CNN that had a satellite capture of the entire event, after releasing an entire statement, their investigative report that, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened, they had to take back some of their statements. I don't know if it was threats from wherever, I don't know. But guys, it seemed as though people who actually had genuine reports of what happened that particular night, probably they got threatened one way or the other. They got scared. Everybody decided to start withdrawing, pulling back. The DJ Switch that actually was courageous enough to carry out that live, that Instagram live, She can't even come back home to Nigeria. Yeah, like she's out of the country, thankfully, in a place where hopefully she's safe. And guys, it's just been a terrible situation. Now, in light of all of that, Nigerian youths especially, decided that, okay, over 90 people, according to the panel of inquiry, died, and the government are still refusing to acknowledge and accept that that actually happened. So yesterday was going to be a memorial, to honor the souls of the dead. And so a very, very well-organized memorial procession was planned, and yesterday was supposed to be that day. And so I think 2 days or 3 days before yesterday, the Lagos State Police, let me not say the Lagos State Police, they had positioned themselves at the toll gate. I mean, was it last week Friday? I went to Lagos Island. I went to the market, and I saw big police vans, vehicles, guarding the toll gate. And I was just shaking my head like, okay, fine, here we go again. So we cannot have a peaceful procession in this Lagos, in this country. So okay, let me just chill and watch what's going to happen. So yesterday, in fact, they were positioned there since last week. And then yesterday, I was watching the news, and gosh, guys, the things I saw, those were the things that made me scared. The police, with all their force and their might, they came down heavily on not just, guys, they started from the press. We had Arise News TV. Currently, guys, I would highly recommend that channel, Arise News channel. They are currently one of the bravest media powerhouse that we have in this country. Currently one of the bravest. I mean, daring. I mean, that is how I like the media to be. Very, very daring. The watchdog of the society. They ensured that they got there earlier than any other person. But guess what? They were harassed. The female reporter specifically, they were harassed by the police. Why? Because they had a drone in the sky, of course, which is modern day news gathering gadgets. A drone, anybody could have a drone. I, as a YouTube content creator, I could have a drone to capture content. But of course, they had a drone up there in the sky, and the police was seriously harassing them to take it down. And so the question came to my mind, why were they disturbing them to take down the drone? Why? If they are not scared of being discovered of any atrocity they were going to commit that yesterday, why were they disturbing them? Why were they harassing them? Guys, you need to see the way they malhandled that female reporter. I would have loved to put the videos, but the videos is already on their channel here on YouTube. So for copyright issues, I cannot put those videos. You can go ahead and check their channel to watch it. Guys, they seriously rough-handled this woman. Like, I mean, she's female, for God's sake. Aside the fact that she's even female, aside her gender, she's a journalist. She has an ID with a reputable media house. But they seriously rough-handled her, like they were dragging. And guys, it made me wonder, like, what caliber of people do we have in the police unit in this country? What caliber of people? Like, are they mentally sound? Did they really understand what they are doing? Because the way they behaved yesterday, guys, that's even for the journalists with Arise News. A young man was carrying a placard, and they arrested him. And another man was granting an interview to one of the news agencies that was there. He was talking. And guess what? What the man was saying was not wrong.
The police are underpaid, and that a time will come we're going to overwhelm the police. I will certainly overwhelm the police, and we have shown that the police have not learned their lesson. Because we see that there's so much injustice in Nigeria. They have not injustice in Nigeria. Look at them and look at them rotting again. Look at them rotting. This is a people protest, okay? Don't touch me now. Okay, no, why touching me? What about you?
He was actually spilling the facts that the Nigerian police, they are underpaid. They are not well taken care of. Guys, I've done a video about this before. They're underpaid. They're not well taken care of. If you go to the police barracks, you will see the dilapidated buildings that our officers of the law are living in. Some of them, they have 5 kids, 10 kids. They live in structures that looks as though just one push, it will crumble to the ground. Some of them, they are being owed salaries. Guys, these policemen in this country, they are not well taken care of. So aside every other factor that contributes to them behaving the way they behave in a very, very negative way towards us, the citizens of this country, you can also say that because of the harsh standard of living, the very, very low standard of living that they go through every day of their lives as officers that are supposed to be protecting lives and properties in this country, you could also say that that is part of the reason why they're very, very aggressive, extremely brutal to citizens of this country. So that was the point that man was making in that interview. And guess what? He was arraigned, he was arrested, like he was dragged like a common criminal to their black Maria van. Guys, I saw all these things on the news yesterday and I was scared. I was panicking that this thing has been going on for a long time. But because it doesn't really happen to the kids, to the children, to the families of, you know, our leaders, they turn a blind eye to all these things. They're not really bothered. They look away. For them, the police are all only doing their job. Guys, that is just one. And then the one that really made me cry was the Uber guy that was harassed. According to the Uber guy, he was on a trip because yesterday the police actually released 2 or 3 tear gas canisters or even more into the crowd of people, youths, you know, observing the memorial. They released tear gas canisters into the crowd. Guys, that was just part of it. And then they were rough handling people. They were just being very, very aggressive. And then you wonder, like, where did they get the orders from? So aside that, this Uber guy, according to him, he heard gunshots. That was what he heard. And it was on a trip, so he had to park his car. Of course, when you hear gunshots like that and there's a crowd of people and you see armed, heavily armed policemen, the first thing that will come to your mind, your survival instinct will tell you, abandon your car and run. Your life first, safety first, before the car. When the whole drama, you know, settles down, if your car still remains, oh, thank God for your life. That was the first thing that came to the guy's mind. So according to this Uber guy, he ended the trip. He and the passenger, they ran off. So by the time the gunshots had, you know, subsided, he came back, and that was how he was arrested. He was arrested, and they were asking where he was going. He said he had run off because he heard gunshots, and he was coming back to get his car. Guess what? They had already told his car, and they said he should go and get his car. He should go and meet whether they are Oga or something. As the guy was going, that was how they started forcefully trying to throw this guy into their black Maria van to arrest him unlawfully. And then before we knew it, we're hearing cases of, he tried to stab someone. The guy was like, he was literally holding his car keys and his phone. And the guy was like, stab who? I am an Uber guy. Now guys, when someone is claiming to be an Uber driver, as a police officer, what is the first thing you do? You know that Uber drivers, they cannot really operate officially without having the Uber app running on their phone. So the first thing they should have done was what? Ask the guy, okay, open your Uber app now. Let us see your most recent trip. They didn't do that. Guys, you need to, that video, it's on Arise News YouTube channel. Please go and check it out. They were carrying this guy like his face was bleeding. Oh God, I can't even describe it. And then they sprayed tear gas on him. What if he was asthmatic? That is how he would have died. Guys, I can't even narrate that story completely because it was just so horrible. It was like witnessing live, virtually, a human sacrifice going on. The way they rough handled that guy, the way they brutalized him. Oh God. Listen, all I can just say is 2023 is fast approaching. I know that this country, we have a lot of issues. Oh, I mean, the police is just one of it. But I believe that if we have a very, very good leadership in this country, I believe that if we have a leader that actually listens, I'm sure that a lot of things will be set right. A lot of wrongs would be set right. So my only word of advice to every Nigerian watching this video is 2023 elections is fast approaching. As a matter of fact, they've started campaigning, and the people that are campaigning already, guys, it will shock you. I've been seeing people campaigning and I'm shocked, because some of the people campaigning they are not even healthy. Some of them, they are still undergoing treatment abroad, abandoning the healthcare system here that is completely zero to rubbish. They are receiving treatment though, but they are campaigning. So what I just want to say is, for every single one of you out there that is Nigerian, please go and get your voter's card. Come 2023 elections, vote the right candidate. And let's see if change can start from there. People will say that, oh, change begins from you as a Nigerian. Yes, I mean, I am doing my own best. I'm doing my own part. But then, when the head is corrupt, just know that the body will also be affected and infected. That's all I have to say, guys. I will see you all on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Stay safe out there. Have an amazing day.